Alrighty then. Ooh, me. Well, hello there. Welcome to the party, everyone who's here and everybody who hasn't quite got rolling yet. I'm about to be posting around the socials. Give me just a second. I'm just getting the word out that I'm doing this morning. It's our usual Saturday stream, but we want to make sure that everyone knows we're here. All right. Just a second. Takes an extra seconds. I'm actually going to go back to the starting soon screen until I get this posted, because this could take an extra second. Chat, if you'd like, if you're hanging about there, first of all, welcome. We're going to be getting started pretty soon. I'm just getting the last of everything ready. Sorry, it's just taking an extra second. Just gonna post everywhere real quick, and then we'll get right started. Also, welcome to the party chat. We're happy to have you guys. we go. All right. All right, let's get right into it. So we were, where were we? We were, well, we just finished the Druid. I just read up on the Druid and got kind of frustrated there because, I'm a Druid player. And so reading the Druid really took me off because I'm like, what are these changes and why? It doesn't mean, I get it. I actually kind of like the changes to the Constellation Druid because it actually matters. Because the old Circle of Stars Druid was kind of busted. But let's get into the fighter. Let's see what they did to the fighter. Let's see. Yeah, talk about the versatilities of the fighters. Bunch of weapon techniques. At level 1, you gain all the traits of the core fighters. So 1d10, yeah. Skill proficiencies. 2 skill proficiencies. All weapons, all armor. And then a bunch of armor and weapon choices. All right. Let's see. Gain its level 1 features. Gain a fighting style. Okay. Defense is recommended, so raising your AC. Okay. Second wind. Yep. Weapon mastery. Yep. Okay, we're going to have to read up on those weapon masteries because it's going to be coming soon, I bet. Those weapon masteries, I'm 100% sure are going to be on each weapon, and so I might have problems with them. I might not. They might be good changes for the weapons. Of course, action surge. Yeah, 1 additional action, except the magic action. I like that. So apparently the magic action is now different than a spellcasting action is now different than a normal attack. So this means that this kind of fixes like the fighter action surge multi-spell stuff. Okay, I can get behind that a little bit. Not too much, but I can get behind that. When you fail an ability check, you can expend use of your second wind to push yourself towards success. Okay, D10. Okay, so this gives an additional use for the second wind. Tactical mind. Okay, I don't like that second bit. So reading second wind here. Tactical mind lets you add a D10 to any failed roll. And if it still fails, you don't expend that. I think that should be like something you have to use. And if you fail, you fail. Okay, the music just got really intense for no reason. Yeah, that... No, I can't get behind that. So tactical mind seems to be broken. The issue is now until you get a success, you have a plus 1d10 on every ability check. I mean, it doesn't apply to saving throws, which is fine, but no, that's too much, especially at level 2. Level 3, subclass, okay. ASI, extra attack, tactical shift at level 5. Okay, whenever you second wind, you can move up to half your speed. What does that have to do with second winding? And why is that a base fighter thing? You're just making the fighter way mobile. I guess at level 5 it starts to use the fighter. The fighter was already strong though. Why are they trying to really emphasize what the fighter can do? If you fail a saving throw, you can reroll with a bonus equal to your fighter level. You must okay, Indomitable already existed. I ran into it last night. At 13, it becomes 2. Okay, Tactical Master. Whose mastery property you can use. You can replace the property with the push, sap, or slow property. We have to read up on those properties before I make a decision on that. Because that might depend on how I feel about how the weapon properties act. Okay, act 3 times at level 12. Studied attacks. If you make an attack roll against a creature and miss, you have advantage on your next attack roll. What? Holy crap. You don't need advantage on that. Yet at level 10, a fighter already, like, let's take Wanderer, for example, the fighter in my campaign. Wanderer already has a plus 13 to hit. I think plus 13 to hit. 5 plus 4, 9 plus 9 to hit. So you've already got a plus 9 to hit at around this point, probably even more. A plus 9 to hit plus advantage on every other attack that you miss. You're never missing. Epic boon, okay. 3 extra attacks at level 20. Whack 'em, I guess. Okay. Battle Master. Combat, superiority dice. I don't see any changes to superiority dice. Gain proficiencies in an artisan tools. Okay. Know your enemy. Okay, that's the same. D10 combat. Okay, yeah. So this hasn't really changed. Yeah, this hasn't really changed. Other than I'm trying to see if there's any new Battle Master stuff. Not really. So the Battle Master hasn't changed very much. Champion attack. You roll attacks with weapons and unarmed scores critical hit. Yep, improved critical. Remarkable athlete. Advantage on initiative rolls. I don't think that's different from the champion already. Gain another fighting style feat. Okay. Heroic warrior. Give yourself heroic inspiration whenever you start your turn without it. Wait, whoa. What is heroic inspiration? What did I miss? What is this heroic inspiration? What did I miss? No, really, guys, what did I miss? Heroic inspiration. I don't understand. I don't see anything that says heroic inspiration. What? There's nothing in here. Yeah, I don't see anything in here with heroic inspiration. What is that supposed to be? I'm going to have to look that up. Okay, what is heroic inspiration? Designed to be more useful. Wait, whoa! No, it's inspiration? No, that's supposed to be a reward from the DM. That's not supposed to be something that's like, you just get it. Whenever you start your turn without it, which means at level 10, you essentially have advantage on one attack for free. That just hurts the DM. What's the point of heroic? What's the point of giving out inspiration and people having inspiration because if they can just get it for free as a fighter? This is absurd. Superior critical, okay. Defy death, advantage on death saving throws with improved critical for that too. Start of your turns, you gain plus your constitution modifier if you are bloodied. Okay, there's the bloodied stuff. Eldritch Knight. Let's go into the Eldritch Knight real quick. Hello, engineer. How are you doing? You must have misheard me. I didn't speak how big the room was. I said I cast fireball. It's true. It's true, engineer. We cast fireball. Welcome to the party. This fighter is This champion fighter bugs me. I don't like the fact that they added heroic inspiration to character sheets. It's like inspiration is something that the DM's supposed to give as a great reward. I give it to my players whenever they do excellent role playing, whenever they do excellent things. It's supposed to be like it's supposed to be something to encourage players to play, not you just get it. Oh, you just made an entire race while having no party to use it for? I'm sorry, but according to the new player's handbook, it is now species. Believe me, I hate that just as much as you do. Oh, new race, but no. Man, you got to seek out characters. You know, DMs, oddly enough, DMs are in a point where finding players isn't as hard as you think. It's actually really easy nowadays. You usually just put something else like, hey, I'm getting a group together, and you just fill up. But I'm in a larger town. You may not be in a city like I am. I know that the DMs are having a nasty little shortage, and this 2024 stuff is not helping it at all. Sorry. I got some background music going. I'm having problems with it. I'm going to keep fighting with my background music like all day. It's just going to be a constant battle for me. It always is. Let's go Eldritch Knight. Let's take a look at this Eldritch Knight. Okay, Eldritch Knight gets spellcasting. Yep. Technically made 2 Iron Skin Kobolds and Mountain Kobolds. I don't know. I just find them really interesting. Kobolds are fun little creatures. They are fun little creatures. I find them tricky as player characters, just because I haven't seen players who really run Kobold other than like joke characters, and I'm like, and I'm like, oh, okay, but I'm like, yeah, Kobolds can be really fun. The race as a whole is really interesting. Sorry, I'm still going through this. Number of spells on your list increases you gain fighter levels. Between yourself and one weapon, perform the ritual over the course of an hour, which can be done during a short rest. The weapon must be within your reach throughout the ritual. At the conclusion, you touch the weapon, forge the bond. If it fails, if another fighter's bond, okay, or if the weapon is a magic item to which someone else is, okay. Once you bonded a weapon to yourself. Oh, you can't hear the music? That should be better. Like I said, I'm going to be fighting with my music all day. Like I said, yeah, I'm going to be fighting with the music all day. It is my natural enemy. It rolled a 20 on its initiative roll today, and now it's punishing me for my hubris. That should be better. Should be able to be heard, but not very loud. The issue with music on streams is... What happened to the fantasy type music? This is in the same playlist. Yeah, this is in the same playlist. I'm just like running through this playlist here. So it's very... By the way, the album we are currently listening to is Enchanted Echoes by Alexander Nakarada. He's a great little fantasy guy. If you haven't seen his stuff, he does great little instrumentals. Love his work. See, now it's back into that fantasy jam. Shouldn't be too loud either. The issue that I have is that it's very easy for music to overpower, especially on stream. And so I don't want to risk that. So let me know if the music's ever too loud or too quiet. But let's keep going. Okay. Magic bond. Okay, you bond with a weapon. You can have up to 2 bonded. As a bonus action, you can bond. As a bonus action, you can summon it. Okay. War magic. Take the action on your turn. You can replace one of the attacks with casting one of your wizard cantrips. okay, so your multi-attack works with cantrips. I don't think much has changed here. This just feels like the Eldritch Knight and how it was. Learn how to make weapon strikes undercut an ability to withstand your spells. When you hit a creature with an attack using a weapon, creature has disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes against a spell you cast. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that one. Because, okay, on one hand, it's a good little ability, but at the other hand, depending on the spells that are taken, it can be a nasty ability. Like, if you hit him with a suggestion or something as your second attack with that, okay. But I'm going to move on other than, like, the normal spell casting stuff, problems that come with it. All right, War Magic. Yeah, I just went over that. Eldritch Strike. Yep, just went over that. Arcane Charge. When you use your Arcane Surge, whenever you use your action surge, you can teleport 30 feet. So I feel like, okay, here's what I feel like they really focused on with this fighter is they made sure the fighter was mobile. That the fighter could duck between areas of the fight. Yeah, I feel like they focused very much on making sure the fighter could duck between areas of the fight. Between the ability to move 30 feet when you second wind without an opportunity attack, and now the teleport on the Arcane Knight, I'm very much feeling mobility is what they were going for with the fighter. Because I've noticed in 5e, the fighter oftentimes gets locked down as enemies flank. So this is a good way for... it's a way for them to really help with that. I kind of like this. I kind of like that change. Like, making the fighter more mobile means that they don't have to take as many mobility items. Improved War Magic. Okay. 2 attacks with casting of 1. Of your 1 or 2 level. But that's high level stuff. And you only get up to 4th level. So it's not like the Eldritch Knight is getting very powerful spells in the first place. You don't need anything then. Warlocks, though. Eldritch Blast for the win. We'll see what changes they made to the Warlock eventually as we get there. Because this 2024 might have changed Warlocks. And I'm not sure how much. Okay, Psy Warrior. I don't see level 3 psionic power. Oof, that is just loud for me. Let's see. You get a certain number of psionic energy dice. A feature subclass uses psionic energy dice. Only the dice from the subclass, some of your powers expend psionic energy die. Okay, you gain 1 when you or another creature within takes damage. You can make a reaction. Propel weapons with psionic force. But I don't know. I feel there's many classes now. I miss the old times. There's too many classes now. I don't think the classes have really changed. I'm trying to think of what they've added. Warlock, Wizard, Sorcerer, Druid, Fighter. It could be that there's so many subclasses that it just feels like there's so many classes. Let's see here. Okay, so you just use those 2. Classes and races are all over the place. Don't you mean species? I'm going to correct people on that just because I hate that change. And if I have to hate that change and groan at that change, I feel like everybody else has to. And it's funny, my D&D overlay's still up. Sorry, I didn't realize my D&D overlay was still up. When I run my campaigns, I have an overlay on them. Yeah, I feel like there are a bunch. There's a ton of classes and a ton of races / species, whatever you want to call them. A ton of races, but it makes sense. The world of D&D is a big fantasy area, so having a ton of races makes sense. The number of classes, I think, has stayed steady for the most part. like they've shifted the classes around, but they've steadily added a couple over the years, and it's like, okay, there's just so many subclasses. The subclasses are my issue, and whittling them down for 2024 made sense. New ways for your telekinetics, level 10, resistance to psychic. Okay, no one really cares about the Psy Warrior. I'm gonna be honest, no one really cares about the Psy Warrior. It just doesn't seem that interesting to me. Okay, let's see what they did to the monk. Let's see what they did to the monk, because I'm worried about what they did to the monk. Let's see, martial arts. The old joke with artificer makes a nuclear bomb. Well, before that, you guys need to learn how. You guys are good. Your artificer's gonna need to figure out nuclear physics. Let's get that one in there real quick. Nuclear physics is a hard one to learn, especially magical nuclear physics. That is very much a secret that is guarded by even more closely than the path to lichdom. Not necessarily, because now you could have the deities going, I don't want you making a bomb. I don't want nukes here. And stalls your research, you know. For some reason, every piece that you're cursed, every piece of uranium you find is now depleted. Let's see. Monks. Okay. Monk class features. Martial arts. Gives you mastery of combat that are unarmed strike and monk weapons, which are the following. Oh, all simple weapons. Okay. And all martial weapons. And martial weapons that have the light property are now monk weapons. That expands what a monk can do, I guess. Monk whip, here we come. Whip swinging monk. Yeah, whip swinging monk. That's what we'll go with. That's definitely what we'll go with. Sorry, I'm checking on some stuff here. Okay. Bonus to unarmed strike. Yeah, martial arts damage dice. D6 in place of normal damage on your unarmed strikes or monk weapons. That's normal. You can use dexterity modifier instead of strength. Sounds like a fetish. Look, the whip just got in 5. Okay, here's what happened. I wanted to build essentially a Belmont for a one shot, and then realized the whip does 1d4 damage, and was like, that's disappointing, and it's not even that useful in 5e. So I got really disappointed very quickly by the fact that I couldn't run that. Okay, you focus your martial training to harness a well of extraordinary within. Okay, when you roll initiative, expend all expended focus points. Are they not key points anymore? They're not key points. Huh. They're not key points anymore. They, monks no longer have key. I'm sorry. No kamehamehas for you guys. That's disappointing, actually. That was kind of funny. Like, monks having that was a pretty funny thing. Like key points and all that. What is going on? Best story character I have ever seen is the sorcerer that believes himself to be a wizard. Spells performing wrong, but it's all sort of works. I mean, that's a great character idea. Like I've seen that character idea floating around, and it's a hilarious way to have this sorcerer do that. Like he's trying, man. That sorcerer's trying his best to be a wizard, and he just can't. Like it's like, yeah, no, for some reason I can do my spells a lot faster than everybody else. I don't know. Oh my gosh, the music just okay, I guess the boss entered the stage. Everybody roll initiative. Wow, that music went intense very quickly. Oh, you can't hear any music? How's that? You should be able to hear it now. Piano. Yeah, just some random stuff that I've got here. I've got the license too that I use. Let me turn up my mic though. Okay, that's better. That way it's not going to overpower me in any way because I half expect it to try. I just don't want the music like overshooting my voice so nobody can hear me as I talk. You don't like the idea. I understand it, but I don't like it. I like the idea of the monks, the unarmed class, the hypermobile unarmed fighter type. It fits really well. I'm trying to think of when monk came up. Because I'm pretty sure monk was probably introduced in like 2E, maybe 3. And changing from key points to focus points, that just seems kind of weird to me. Uncanny metabolism. Yeah, you get all your points back every time you fight. Can't use it again until you finish a long rest. Okay, that makes sense. Deflect attacks. Okay, we've seen this. Nothing's really changed here. Unarmored movement. Subclasses, ASI, slow fall, extra attack. Stunning strikes. Yep. Yeah, nothing's really changed with the monk here. I wonder if the real changes are with the subclass. The subclasses. I don't think so. Monk fills a very specific role in the party in that they get a lot of damage very quickly while being unassuming. Monk also doesn't really fit with the rogue vibe. Monks have a very specific kind of vibe to them in that being they're the martial artists. I don't agree that the monk should be a rogue. Should just be a rogue subclass. I've seen monks. The issue is rogues fill the stealth, the specific aspect of in the party of trap seeker and heavy damage dealer kind of one-offs. They're not supposed to be consistently doing massive damage. They're your glass cannons. Rogues are your mix between your is a mid damage, mid tankiness character. Their big thing is versatility and self restoration. So I'm like, I think monks have their own place. They've definitely brought their own place out of being any other subclass. Being unarmed and unarmored, that's just a monk thing. I actually enjoy the monk. The flurry of blows is a great idea. It can get a bunch of attacks off. Monks getting a bunch of attacks off makes sense. Being a martial artist, being able to infuse their strikes, that also makes sense. I'm just very much like the monk in theory is a good class. It's a classic class. It's rolling a monk into another class doesn't make sense. Like thematically, rolling the monk into the rogue doesn't work. Rolling the monk into the cleric could work, considering that there's like logically not a big difference between a monk and a cleric. From like historically speaking, because a lot of clerics ended up being monks. So if you were going to roll the monk into a class, I would say you'd roll it into cleric over rogue. Partly because rogue doesn't fit with monks. Monks kind of hang out in temples. They're monks. They're focused on bringing themselves peace, whereas rogues have their own thing. They're the underbelly criminal. They're underhanded. They attack from behind. They're not. The vibe just does not fit with the monk for a rogue. That and the rogue doesn't need another subclass. Warrior of Mercy. Let's see. Wandering Physicians. Okay, so Hand of Harm once per turn. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike and deal damage, you can spend 1 focus point to deal extra necrotic. Okay, so when you hit a creature, you can spend a point to deal extra damage. Hand of Healing. Touch a creature equal to your martial arts die plus your wisdom. Okay, so this one's a healer. See, this is where I'm like, just roll it into the you could roll that into the cleric, and I'm fine with that. Like I said, I just don't think it fits with rogue. Implements of Mercy, Physician's Touch, hand of your hand. Okay, yeah. So. Implements of Mercy, you gain proficiency in these when you take this class. I gotta turn down my music. Not for you guys, just for me. Because I'm like, it's too loud in my ear. It's way too loud in my ear. What is with my... Man, my Twitch is having some problems today. Like, not my chat or anything. It's just my Twitch dashboard is having some serious problems today. Okay, yeah, improved Hand of Harm, Flurry of Healing and Harm. You can replace. Okay, you can say when you use Flurry of Blows, you can deal damage. You can use Hand of Harm with that strike without expending a focus point for Hand of Harm. You can still use Hand of Harm only once per turn. Okay, so just. Yeah, so you're just improving that. Okay. So just a pseudo healer, just a little bit of an extra damage and a little bit of healer on that. Okay, I'm okay with that. Warrior of Shadow, Stealth and Subterfuge, Shadow Arts, spend a focus point to start to cast Darkness. Okay. And you can see within its area. Well, you can move its area to a space within 60 feet of yourself. Oh, that's actually cool. Man, that would be that's going to be a nightmare in play, though. That'd be a nightmare in play. Like, just darkness all over the place at level 3. Minor illusion. Okay, Shadow Step. Entirely within dim light or darkness, you can use a bonus action to teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Again, mobility. Why are they focusing mobility? They're making these guys, like, these marshals are being hyper mobile for some reason. Proof Shadow Step. Yep. Okay. Cloak of Shadows. Okay. Elemental Attunement. Sorry, I'm just kind of rushing through this because I'm like, I agree that the monk's pretty good. I just don't like the monk personally. I know they have a role to play, but as a player, I'm not very interested in the monk's abilities. I'm just like the character built with a monk build is more interesting than the monk build itself, because monk builds inherently are very simple. I swear that image has to be AI generated. Like, that paladin look just does not work. Open hand, yeah. We'll skip the monk's open hand technique. Otherwise, we're never going to get through all the classes. That image has to be AI generated. Let's for the paladin. It just looks weird. It's that right eye. It's that right eye that's the giveaway. Yeah, it has to be AI generated. I really hate that they started using AI generation in their art. I get it, Wizards. You're going broke with Hasbro, but this won't help you. Paladins. Paladins, paladins, paladins. Okay, lay on hands. Yeah, normal paladin stuff, spell casting, weapon mastery, fighting style. Paladin smite. You have the divine smite spell prepared. Oh, it's a spell now. You can cast it with once without expending a spell slot, but you must finish a long rest before you can cast it again. Okay. Huh. Chat, you're gonna have to help me with this one. What was the purpose in making the smite a spell? Well, I would agree the Pally's pretty tough, but I don't know why making it a spell makes any difference. Like, are they trying to make it like, I know they're trying to deal with half casters, like they did with the cleric and druid, where you pick, but this starts just moving the paladin into a more of a spellcaster role. Like the paladin needed a nerf. The paladin was one like the broken part in a lot of builds. So I understand like nerfing the paladin, but what benefit does changing the smite to a spell do? See, I want to look at like when I look at these, I don't want to just sit here and say they're bad. Like these changes are bad. I want to know what the purpose of that change is, because if it was just because like the Pally needs a nerf, when we get to Divine Smite, I feel like I'll know. Yeah, you introduce your big bad, and the Pally goes for a smack, and the big bad, like you're the storyteller. If you don't, if it's gonna be unreasonable for your players to take down your BBEG as soon as he shows up, just don't let them. Pally goes for a smack. BBEG throws him across the room. Like, here's the thing. If it's just a storytelling issue, DM gets to break the rules. You can throw a character across the room if your guy needs to. No, like make a strength save. 21? Not quite. Thrown across the room. It's that point where it's like, yeah, I mean, he can go into smite, but there's no reason if you're introducing your BBEG that your players have a chance to kill him. Doing it smart, your players will never have a chance to kill your BBEG, whether he be behind a mask. Maybe it's just a simulacrum that showed up. It's like, yeah, just don't give him the chance. There's so many options. Paladin Smite as a spell? We're on page 110. It's Divine Smite. Where's spells? Sorry, I actually have to look at this spell because I feel like it's going to be very specific to it. Spells. Character origins. Where are the spells? Oh, Ranger Paladin spell list. Here we are. 112. Sorry, I needed to know what the spell actually did, not just where the spell was. I need the spell list. Like the actual spells. Spells here are 239. Looking for Divine Smite. Do you see Divine Smite? Divine Smite, here it is. I feel D&D stopped after 3.5, but I just fell in love with that series. Which 3.5? Wait, which series? I don't agree. I think 3.5 was. I think 5e was the epitome of D&D, because 3.5 is too nitty gritty, to really gain any popular market appeal, whereas 5e simplified it in such ways that it was pretty easy to get into. Before anybody starts like talking about like it's more complex but also more fleshed out. It is, and that's part of the problem. A new player does not want to get into a game and have to look at a spreadsheet. Like, I like spreadsheets. I like my spreadsheet games. I play a lot of strategy games where I'm like, it's practically a bunch of spreadsheets nestled together. But I think role-playing games, I shouldn't have to look at theirs. Did 3.5 utilize THACO? I have to double check. Was 3.5 utilizing THACO? Or did they move past that by 3.5? No, it discontinued it. They moved to an armor class system. Okay, that's good. Yeah, but like complex, you're going to keep the thing small, and you needed to build it so that people would be more intuitive to play. Like a bunch of role-playing games, they need to be simple enough to where that players can get into it without needing a lot of work. But if they really want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, they can. I feel like that's the beautiful way to do that. And I think 5e did that perfectly. 3.5, again, I don't want to look at a spreadsheet. That's why I didn't get into 3.5. Okay, let's look at Divine Smite. That was a bonus action, which you can take immediately after hitting a target with a melee weapon or an unarmed strike. Extra 2d8 from... So I have a problem with this. Okay, one problem I have with Divine... Okay, so it's just Smite. Yeah. It's just Smite as a spell. One problem I have with Divine Smite as a spell is now the Bard can take Smite. The Bard can Divine Smite. Because he can take it for his magical secrets, and he can just take Divine Smite, and now he has Divine Smite. Divine Smite. But which series did you get into? And there's that intense music again. Immediately after the piano. It's quiet. Yeah, sorry, the music kind of toned down for some reason. There we are. That should fix it. Yeah, you mentioned you were getting into a series. What did you get into? I'm not sure which series you're referring to. Let's see. Channel Divinity. Give additional Channel Divinity effect options. Okay. Just the 5.5e, 3.5e. Okay, just the 3.5e. Okay. But I also think D&D does something smart in which each edition doesn't actually reset anything. It just pushes forward time a bit. And I like that because that means like the world continues on and your ancient beings are in there. They do editions in a very smart way. Other than this 2024 edition, which doesn't change anything. Other than potentially make Baldur's Gate 3 canon, which is kind of weird. I guess there's some stuff in the monster manual that references some stuff from Baldur's Gate 3, and you're like, it's kind of weird. That might become that game's now might be canon for D&D. Paladin subclass, ASI, extra attack, faithful steed. Okay, you can cast Find Steed now. Would rather have Neverwinter Nights. I don't know. Baldur's Gate, I really enjoy the single player game. I don't know. I actually really enjoyed Baldur's Gate. I enjoyed Baldur's Gate 3, and it did good things for D&D. I think they made some changes in there that were really good. I think it works very well as a video game, and it got a lot of people playing D&D and interested in playing D&D. Not to mention, I am just so fond of the story structure and how they did it. The 3-act structure, tongue-tied again, structure going into Baldur's Gate. Like, it honestly was. BG3 was a masterpiece. It deserved Game of the Year awards when it came out. And the devs have been fantastic to their community. And so I am not sure about making it canon. I feel like there's too many branching paths to make it canon. And that's the problem. There's D&D doesn't do something like Elder Scrolls does, where there's a dragon break, which means they have to pick a path if they're going to make it canon. And pick like an origin that was canon. If it was Dark Urge, it was Dark Urge. If it wasn't Dark Urge, it's not Dark Urge. But I feel like it was Dark Urge, so intended to be Dark Urge. Where I'm like, Dark Urge Redemption would probably be the best canon option for them. I just feel like BG3 coming into canon is a weird space. Art of Courage. I felt Dark Urge should be the default. I actually have to disagree with you there. Here's the thing. Dark Urge being the default over a normal TAV, I think Dark Urge would have turned off a lot of players. It makes sense that that is the intended way to play, but Dark Urge would turn off a lot of players. In fact, I barely got through the Dark Urge run, partly because of the increased difficulty rolls that they've got. I think it would be too sadistic for your normal audience, so I think making it just an optional origin makes the most sense. For like story-wise, it's the best story. It's the best story for the character, for TAV. As far as it versus a normal TAV run, I would say the normal TAV was a smart way to do it, because it would have turned off a lot of new players, and it's a video game, so they need to keep their new players, especially if they wanted to make these tactical RPGs like this one successful in the broader audiences. Yeah, just thoughts about that. There's so many ways they could have taken it. I think they did a smart thing by putting in there, hey, we don't recommend Dark Urge for the first playthrough. This may be how the game is intended, but we don't recommend it for a first playthrough. Because I feel like a lot of new players would have gone into the traps of the Dark Urge, and would have fallen to the urge. I don't think the redemption arc would have been found as easily as it was. I think a lot of people would be frustrated at getting a bad ending, even though they beat the game and chose the good ending when they go mindless. So yeah, I think Dark Urge, not as a default, but as that, hey, this is as we intended it to play, but don't play it first. It did. It elevated everything. That's why they said this is how we intend the game to be. Don't do it first. Which is why I'm like, I think a Dark Urge run would be what's considered canon. Okay. I should get back to the Paladin. We don't want to get too muddled in the weeds here. Okay, lay on hands. Okay, can remove conditioned by spending 5 points. Okay, I don't mind that. Aura of protection. Yep, Aura of courage. Okay, nothing too different there. Spell list. Subclasses. What classes do they choose for the Pally? When you take the attack Sacred Weapon, you can expend one of your Channel Divinity to imbue it, holding for 10 minutes. Okay. Add Charisma modifier to attack rolls. I kind of like that for this kind of Paladin. Cause normal damage or radiant. It's 20. Okay, and it lights up. And it lights up. Okay. Aura of Devotion. Allies have immunity to charm, while the Aura of Protection, it kind of overlaps with counter charm a bit. But okay, I guess if you're not going to get a bard, that works. Because charm is a very powerful condition. Smite now radiates protective energy. Whenever you cast Divine Smite, you and your allies have half cover while in your Aura of Protection. So the Oath of Devotion is very much a frontline supporty paladin. Interesting. Bonus action, you can imbue your Aura of Protection with holy power. Yeah, so this was all about your Aura of Protection. Give a holy ward. Radiant damage to enemies. Bright light that is sunlight. I'll have to see how powerful that ends up being, but I kind of like the Oath of Devotion. I really like the Oath of Devotion. Like, raising up that oath seems really good. And not in a broken way. Then what's the point? What's the difference between a paladin and a cleric? That's my thing. What's the difference between a paladin and a cleric? Why does one... Because they're both servants of deities. So why does one have the abilities of a priest and a cleric versus the abilities of a paladin? It's one of those things where it's like, I like the oaths because you can create some fascinating oaths for your characters. And your oath doesn't have to be cleric judges you, paladin makes it happen. Yeah, but functionally they would be deriving their powers from the same source. And because clerics can be as active as paladins, it creates an issue. I like the idea that a paladin should serve a deity. But I think that their power derives from their oath makes a lot of sense. Because they can see it, but it's like, okay, no, my oath to this deity, or essentially... I feel like it would work. Paladins could, like... I like the idea that they should be tied to a deity. I don't agree that it has to be a good deity, because you can have some evil paladins. I think if you're going in the, like, paladins derive their powers from a deity... well, it's like I had this idea. So what if clerics derive their what if clerics are more faith-based than paladin? So they derive their power from the faith in that deity, whereas paladins derive their power still from their oath, but the oath, the power granted to that oath by the deity. So essentially, it's more contractual than it is faith based for paladins. I think that's very reasonable. Hey, the oath itself has no power, but the deity who's backing that oath has power. Whereas clerics just derive it from their faith in that deity. I think I like that version because it still encourages your players to build around a divine oath. And it's like, okay, maybe they don't have to have faith in that deity. And that can be an arc for them, that they don't have the faith in that deity. But they have faith in the oath. They have faith in what it represents, but not itself. It does boil down to the same thing, but this also opens up for the idea that a paladin doesn't need to believe in the god backing its oath. It just needs to believe in the oath. Because the oaths have power. Because words have power in D&D, you don't necessarily have to. It's highly encouraged that you believe in the same deity that derives your oath, but it also means that multiple deities can can place their power into the same oath. So, the oath of devotion, for instance, is just is devotion to that deity, and so it can be multiple deities. Whereas like an oath of glory can go to any god. You're just claiming this oath to bring glory to any number of deities. It's an easy way to do it so that you're not hamstringing player choices. Because that's an issue that I see a lot, is people like to, if different deities than different spells. Not if it's the same oath. Not if you're deriving power not from the deity, but from the oath. That's why I say clerics were like paladins with their oaths being backed by a deity makes more sense than just having them both be faith-based in the same way that a cleric is. The issue is character creation. If you're saying, well, you have to serve these deities as a paladin, well, okay. What if I don't want to, DM? Like, it creates more versatile storytelling this way than hamstringing them to specific deities. Because you don't want to just make players feel like, make players be like, these choices are very limiting. I can't be an evil paladin now. It's like, yeah, you can be an evil paladin. You can have an oath of devotion. Take the same oath of devotion to an evil deity that you would a good one, and it's backing your spells. Yeah, but that's an MMORPG. That's a video games. They all have different methods. I'm like, I don't like to go between those formats because it's like, yeah, okay, fine, but how does that work in tabletop? And I'm not familiar with EverQuest. That's an old man's game. No offense. I'm just like, it's way before my time. EverQuest, I haven't heard of people playing EverQuest in forever. All right, let's keep going. Oath of Glory. Inspiring Smite. You can expend one of your channel divinity and tribute. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying it's an old one. It's before some of our time. It's way before some of our time. Oath of Glory spells. Okay, Peerless Athlete. Okay. Unfortunately, let me look up the release date of Doom. I had it on my Windows 3.14. Doom came out in 1993. That is a game that is older than me. Yeah, that is a game that is older than me. So yeah, I would put Doom in that kind of old man. That old game. Well, if a game is older than me, yeah, it's kind of old. Oh yeah, everyone loved Doom. There's a reason why it got a remake, and the remake is still well beloved because the team put some love into it. Gotta say, the Doom remake was a lot of fun. You were just young. You're just old. Different generations. Oath of Glory, nothing's really changed here. Yeah, it's still pally stuff. When I was your age, everything was harder. When I was your age. During the war. We stormed the beaches. Back in your day. Back in your day, huh? Yeah, it was. You were in Vietnam. Vietnam's not really talked about because it was very much a shifting climate for the U.S. Vietnam is, again, one of those things where we read about it in history books. It's very detached from. I gotta say, history is a weird thing, especially when you know, like, for instance, our family, like, my mother was an only child, but my grandfather was the son of 11. So we have a vast, like, network of older people that we hang out with because they're family, ranging from, like, 80 to 60. 80 to, like, 50. Best Battlefield. It was the best Battlefield. And so it was very interesting to hear what we're reading in textbooks and then being able to ask somebody about it. It's just a weird thing that happens, you know, like for instance, my dad, he got very concerned when he was helping my brother with some homework, and the Reagan era was in a history book. Just like it's going to be weird in like 20 years when COVID is in a history book. It's just a weird feeling to be able to be confronted with history like that. It's like, oh, okay, it's not some distant past event. Just weird stuff happens. Oath of Glory, pretty much standard. Get a bunch of benefits. Yeah. I mean, Paladin's being a Paladin. That's pretty much it. Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap. I could have sworn I heard about that. 20. Oh, 1989. I'm like, oh, they must have. Oh, they did a remake. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, it started in the 80s. It started in the 80s. Not a fan of the remake, huh? Let's get off track for a bit. Let's see how well reviewed the new one is. Oh, you're right. It's only gonna. It's not that great. Let's see what IMDb has to say about it. Let's see. Against Time, Secret History. No, I don't need to. I want to see reviews. Ziggy glitches and coughs. New series continues the story nearly 30 years later. Oh! So the new Quantum Leap isn't a redo, it's a continuation? Allusions to character. If not for its skillful brief allusions, Quantum. Okay, yeah, so it's supposed to be so it's supposed to be a legacy series. It's supposed to be a legacy series? Is that right? Because you can do legacy series really well. We're getting way off topic there. I'm getting way off topic with this Quantum Leap. I'm just going to have to go watch it, I guess. Some of the older stuff is good. Okay, Oath of the Ancients. I'm like, the Paladin? I can't fault you there. Because I agree with it. A big thing is storytelling is taken second to taking second to a lot of decisions that are made in the business world. But I'm not really surprised. So there's the big saying, politics are. Is it culture that's upstream from politics? My brain's spaced there. I'm not ready to talk politics. One day, I've said like, hey, I'm not going to get into the politics stuff, but at the same time, I'm like, I do like the politics. I find it the most interesting part of the internet and the weird politics that are going on. It's fascinating to see everything kind of from an outsider view to be like, oh yeah, this is odd. What's going on here? And like the DEI stuff in Hollywood was taken way far. Especially, we're seeing that pulled back though. Not politics. Give me a second. It's cool. Yeah, so politics is downstream from culture. So the thing is, the culture influences the politics. So it starts with these series and the decisions made within these movies and then moves into the political sphere. We're actually seeing an interesting shift right now where movies are not making any money when they're loaded with these loaded with these policies. So it's like, okay, we need to make sure that films, one, are profitable first. The other thing is, how do we make a film without compromising the art that it represents? I'm fine with politics being in focus if the art is meant to be a critical of the current politics, whether either side. If it's just supposed to be a fun story, yeah, or even fictional, don't drag it in there. Don't drag our current political stuff in there because it just doesn't fit. It's the same thing like when you're dragging, for instance, because it's D&D, when you're dragging wheelchair accessibility into dungeons, they tried to do that with 5e, and everyone lost their minds. They're like, no, it wouldn't be accessible. Why would it be accessible? And why does this make any sense in a world where things like greater restoration exist? Healing spells exist. It's like these things just don't exist there. And so don't bother with it. It's just, people tend to do it very ham-fistedly. You can do some like solid politics critique in series without making it so overt. Yeah, there's that. That was some political commentary that Star Trek made. Science fiction makes a lot of critical commentary. Dystopias make a lot of political commentary. So like if you're getting into a dystopian series, you can bet that there's going to be politics involved because dystopias do not critique the future, they critique the present. So it's like, yeah, you just don't drag that in. And that's one issue that's facing games today is it started and the games are such in such a place where they don't that reason you can't go in there. Yeah, so I'm of the mind like I'm okay with politics if the story is meant to be politics. If it's not meant to be a critique of modern politics, don't drag modern politics into it because it won't fit. And if it doesn't fit nicely, the politics should serve the story, not the other way around. I'm trying to think of a great example of this. I know they said, I think was it House of Cards? One of them was was like the most accurate. It was either House of Cards or West Wing was one of the most accurate depictions of modern American politics. But also, you're going to see an interesting shift as businesses are shifting away from these kind of things. You've got to understand it's a mandate of the masses thing. Businesses go where they think the majority is. They make their decisions based on where the majority is. Fence sitters don't last long in business. Because if you're giving up 50% of your audience, over 50% of your potential audience, it doesn't make sense from a business perspective. And so we're seeing an interesting shift after this last election where the popular vote shifted. And so we're seeing a bunch of companies reel back as they realize that they don't have the majority of their potential customer base anymore. And so they need to reclaim that. So you see it all over the place as they're rolling back. As you saw like Disney start to pull things out of their stuff. You saw Warner Brothers shutting down happening. You saw BioWare being shut down, cleaning house. We see what's going on with Ubisoft and their issues that's going on with Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's its own issue we need to talk about. I will probably talk about Shadows at some point. But Shadows has its own issue. If you don't have a reason, don't do it. I like that quote that you put there. You can't access the bridge, but it wasn't not locked. It says without reason, you can't go in there. Yeah, without a reason, don't go there. There's a reason why, interestingly enough, we don't talk politics over here. Just we do talk about it to an extent, where it makes sense. We're like, okay, if it doesn't need to be there, you don't need my opinions on things that don't matter to this, like D&D and the games I play. So I'm like, I just don't go there. It's just not something that naturally comes up in conversation. Back to the paladin. I mean, the pally's just doing pally stuff. Oath of Vengeance. Pally's just doing pally stuff. Do you know any big changes that they made to Ranger? Because I more want to cover that. Any big changes? I don't want to just because we're stuck on classes. I don't want to be stuck on classes forever. I want to get to some of the other stuff so that I can really rant about it. Let me up on my soapbox. Only knew the pally changes. I heard that the Ranger got shafted. Yeah, I heard that the Ranger got shafted again. Weapon Mastery, Deft Explorer. Level 2 Fighting Style. Can take Druidic cantrips. Oh, interesting. Guidance and Starry Whisper recommended. They are Ranger spells. Okay. Whenever you gain a Ranger level, you can replace one of these cantrips with another Druid. Okay, so you can take Druid spells now. Subclasses, a bit ASI, extra attack. Wow, that is just sad. Wow, no, they really shafted this guy. Yeah, that Ranger's just getting shafted. Relentless Hunter. Can't break concentration on Hunter's Mark. I kind of like that. Relentless Hunter, the level 13. No, can't lose that. The Ranger has always been terrible. That's why we're hoping with these some of these updates. Like, some of the Tasha's changes really helped the Ranger. I just feel like someone on the design team really hates the Ranger. Somebody on the design team really hates the Ranger. This is bad. Beastmaster, okay. Summon a beast, bond with nature, choose its stat block, beast of the land, beast of the sea, beast of the sky. In combat, the beast acts during your turn. Yeah. Can only take dodge unless you use a bonus action to command it to take an action. So it eats your bonus action to use it. You can summon a different primal beast. Take bonus action to command your primal to take an action. You also command it to take dash, disengage, or help action using its bow. Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Okay, so level 7 Ranger Beastmaster. You can command it to attack and give the help action. So not only can this creature run in and attack, but it can also give your melee advantage on their next attack. That is a good shift. That improves the Beastmaster a little bit. I mean, it's still kind of meh. Can attack twice. It can use your 11. It can start to use your Hunter's Mark. 15, you cast a spell targeting yourself. You can also affect your companion. So it can heal when you heal. Yeah, the Ranger's always been meh. I don't think they really improved it. Dreadful Strikes. Fey Wanderer spell. New spells. Okay. A Fey Blessing. Charisma check, you gain bonus equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of +1. Beguiling twist. Yeah, no, the ranger hasn't really shifted very much. They didn't really change the ranger at all. Just is. Wait, maybe they adjusted the Gloomstalker. Oh, yeah, they did adjust the Gloomstalker. So it's subpar like it all. Yeah, it's always been subpar. It looks like they nerfed the Gloomstalker as well, so there's not much there. Oh, Hunter. Okay, new one, Hunter. Call the forces of nature to reveal certain strengths and weaknesses of your prey. While a creature is marked by your hunter's mark, you know whether it has immunity, resistance, or vulnerabilities. Okay, that's not bad. This, I think, was just in the ranger class before. Horde Breaker. Whenever you finish, you can replace the chosen option, Colossus Slayer. I don't mind Hunter. It's not bad. Yeah, no. Nope, protruding finisher. Nope. You're banned. I don't care. I don't like those best viewer bots. They just instantly get banned. Okay, I don't mind the Hunter. I think the Hunter could be good in certain situations. I like its versatility. That's either good against one big thing or a bunch of little things. It can also give some information to the other players. And deal extra damage. Okay, it's good against groups. Yeah, the Ranger's still pretty subpar. I don't think it's as bad as it was in 5e. But yeah, I don't think it was as bad as it was in 5e, but it's still really bad. Like, if I was going to allow anything from 2024, it would be the Ranger. They buffed the Ranger a little bit, but the issue is they buffed everybody else too. So they're still outpacing the Ranger. I would argue that maybe the Ranger should have been something that's rolled into a rogue. Of any class to be rolled into another, I would argue it would be the Ranger. The Ranger, I feel like, should have been rolled into the rogue. Because they serve the same functional purpose. They serve the same functional purpose, just very different aspects of it. Yeah. Like, just make it a subclass of rogue. You know, the Ranger is the subclass of rogue, Hunter's Mark, all of that now belongs to a rogue class. That way it's useful. Expertise, sneak attack. Let's see how they shifted sneak attack. With an attack, if you roll advantage roll, the attack uses a finesse. Let's see. When on the roll and the attack uses finesse, yeah, you don't need advantage on the attack if at least within 5 feet. Extra damage increases as your rogue levels increase. Yep, gets to up to 10d6 at 20. Weapon mastery. Yep, get weapon mastery. Cunning action. Okay. Rogue subclass. Steady aim. Bonus action to give yourself advantage on your next attack roll. On the current turn, you can use this feature only if you haven't moved during your turn. So, okay, so you can plant yourself and give yourself advantage on the attack. ASI, Cunning Strike. When you deal sneak attack, you can add one of the following benefits. Poison, okay. trip, and withdraw. That had some versatility to a rogue. I kind of like that. And it's at level 5, so you're not dipping rogue for this kind of thing. 5 levels into rogue is a pretty high cost to get that ability. I kind of like the cunning strike for the rogue, especially as it means that it's not just dealing damage, it's also strategically helping the other players. Uncanny dodge, evasion, reliable talent, improved cunning strike, devious strikes, more actions for your strikes. I kind of like this. Just don't like the subclass. I think that subclass has some issues. I'm gonna look at it. I'll take a close look at it and see what they've changed and see whether or not I feel like it's good. The rogue, it's never been my kind of character. It's just me personally. So far, I'm liking the changes to rogue. I like the idea that you can expend your sneak attacks to get additional abilities. So, like, you now can spend one of your sneak attack dice for a trip attack. Or to daze, or to knock out, or to obscure. I actually like that change. That's a really good change. It makes it more versatile. So it doesn't feel like the rogue is just, I sneak attack, I sneak attack, I sneak attack. It's like, no, okay, I'm getting in there. Okay, I'm probably not going to deal this guy in one shot, but if I get him on the ground, the paladin can have advantage and smite the idiot. So yeah, that change, I'm like, that is a good change. I like that change. Okay, arcane, spellcasting, cantrips, 3 cantrips. Mage hand and 2 other cantrips. Spell slots. Whenever you gain a rogue level, you can replace one of your cantrips, except the mage hand. Prepared spell. Okay, spellcaster. Yep, spellcaster. When you cast mage hand, you cast it as a bonus. You can cast it as a bonus action, and you can make it invisible. Huh? Oh, and through it, yeah, and then you control it as a bonus action. My issue is that it doesn't really feel like it really does anything different than the rest. It really doesn't. So it's just a thief with a mage hand. Essentially, this kind of rogue can be accomplished with the magic initiate feat. And because it can just be done with the magic initiate feat, I don't think it's very good. Assassin, assassinate. Yep. 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 Assassin's kit, tools, poisoner's kit. K, infiltration. K, roving aim. Okay, that's good with the steady aim. I'm liking the changes in venom weapons. Hit with your sneak attack. Okay. Doubled. Okay, so it doesn't instantly kill him, but double damage is a lot. Soul knife. So a psionic. Okay, so you're just a rogue psi warrior. Kind of boring. And then thief. And then thief. I don't know how I agree with that. I'm like, the fact that they just added Psi Warrior here really, I don't think anybody's going to take Soul Knife when Assassin's pretty good. Or Thief. Thief is Thief. You're right. I wasn't fond of the Arcane Trickster. Because when I looked at the Arcane Trickster, I'm like, this thing can be The arcane, all of the arcane tricksters can be stuff can be mimicked with just taking magic initiate. Sorcerer. Let's see what the sorcerer's got for us. Initiate level 1 innate sorcery. Okay. Oh. Best class hands down. Sorcerer is the best class hands down. You have 2 sorcery points. Yeah. Sorcery points, meta magic. Okay. Then sorcerer subclass. When do you get? Level 2 is when you get your meta magic stuff. Ability score improvement. So ASI, restoration, regain your sorcery points. Incarnate. When you have no uses of sorcery points left, you can use it if you spend 2 sorcery. Wait, you can use it if you spend 2 sorcery points when you take the bonus action. If you have no uses of innate sorcery. Okay, what was innate sorcery? As a bonus action, oh, you can release this effect. Okay. If you've got no uses, you can spend your sorcery points to activate it. And then nothing until... Holy crap, that is a jump. Level 5, level 7, level 19. So a lot of other classes had stuff at like level 10. So when I look at the row... Oh, well, I'm here with the ranger. Why not look at the ranger? 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 14. Yeah. Wow, I don't know what they cut from the sorcerer, but I feel like they cut a lot, considering you jump from level 7 to level 9, and the only difference is the spells that you get and the number of sorcery points you get. Okay, meta magic. Following options are available. Alphabet careful spell. Oh, choose number of those creatures up to your charisma modifier. Automatically succeeds on the saving throw. Okay, so that's the wizard's, the evocation wizard's thing. Distant spell. Spend a sorcery point to double its range. Empowered spell. Roll damage. Spend 1 sorcery point to re-roll the damage the number of the damage dice. Okay, extended spell. Yeah, you can extend the duration. Heightened spell to give disadvantage against the spell. Quicken spell is a bonus action. Seeking spell. Oh, you can re-roll the attack. Settle spell. Yep, no components. No visible components anyway. Transmuted spell. Change twin spell. Yeah, okay, so sorcerer stuff's pretty much the same. Then again, the sorcery didn't really need much. Sorcerer subclasses. Aberrant sorcery. Alien influence. So this is the psionic stuff. Psionic defenses. Revelation of flesh. Worm-like movement. Warping implosion. Clockwork sorcery. Okay. Draconic sorcery. Wild magic, sorcery. I'm just looking through here because I'm like, I don't see anything that has changed very much. Which, I'm like, the sorcerer didn't need to change. It was pretty good. The sorcery was a really good class. So it not needing a lot of changes made sense. Isn't that? Did they just take the? That's not D&D art. That's magic art. Down on the left here, that's a magic card. Oh yeah, 100%. They're just reusing art. That's disappointing. Warlocks. Unearth Eldritch Invocations. Pact Magic. 2 Eldritch Blast and Prestidigitation are recommended. Yeah, gain more. Okay, spell slots. How many spell slots do you have to cast your Warlock spells? And then, yeah, those slots, yeah, so that hasn't changed much. Prepared spells, yep. Magical Cunning. Perform Esoteric Rite for 1 minute. At the end of it, you regain Pact Magic spell slots. So I'm going to tell you why I think that it can work and why it can't work. So this is where the storytelling must overcome the what the class can do. For instance, the Pact of the Celestial Warlock. That works because you're in service to a good entity. If it's somebody who regrets their pact, and so his character arc is trying to break it, you can justify it. You know, I made mistakes, but I want to fix them. There's so many storytelling options with Warlock that works that I'm like, I can justify its use outside of, but in very specific ways. It's hard. It's hard, though. Or you could have somebody who's slowly falling to darkness. I've had that. It's hard to justify, but you can justify it. I usually recommend taking Pact of the Celestial and being in service to like a Keyrain or something. But like Pact of the Fiend is hard because it's only got two. It only has two major storylines. I'm evil. I'm trying to gain power, so I made a deal with the devil, Faustian. And then you kind of have the I regret my deal. My character arc is about breaking it. There's very few storylines that you can run with a warlock in a good party. And I'm okay with that. Let's see. Magical Cunning, expand number of spell slots, but no more than equal to half your maximum rounded up. Can only do so once. Warlock subclass. You gain a Warlock subclass of your choice. Yeah. Fae also makes sense. You could run it in a good party because Fae aren't inherently evil. There's just so much to it. Or Great Old One as well, where he doesn't quite understand what he made a pact with. And so the arc can be, I'm learning what I made a pact with, and now I have to figure out how to deal with that pact. Like I said, there's some storylines in here for a good party. It's just hard. You got to play around it. And it's easier to justify with an evil party. It's significantly easier to justify with an evil party. Feel like it's a stretch. It is a stretch. There are stretches, but most stories you stretch. You have to stretch for. Good storytelling, there are stretches to it. And so running that way, you kind of have to be flexible in that storytelling. I think a lot of players are inflexible in that. One interesting thing I see already that are interesting. They took away the regen on short rest. Yeah, they took away the regen on short rest. Instead, you've got this magical cunning. So you don't get your spell slots back on a short rest. Level 4 ability improvement. So ASI, contact patron. Oh, that's new. Through intermediaries, you can communicate directly. You always have contact other plane prepared. With this feature, you can cast the spell with expending a spell slot to contact your patron. Yeah. And you automatically succeed the saving throw. Once cast feature, you can't do so. So you get to talk with your patron whenever you want now. Oh man, you got your patron on speed dial after level 9. Patron grants you magical secrets called Arcanum. Choose one level 6 Warlock spell and cast your Arcanum spell once without expending a spell slot. And you must finish a long rest before you cast it. This level 6 spell at level 11. It's nice. Another Warlock spell of your choice that can be cast this way. Epic boon. Okay. Invocation. Agonizing Blast. Armor of Shadows. Ascendant Step. Oh, that's new. Devil Sight, Devouring Blade. Okay, they expanded the number of Eldritch Invocations there are, and probably how many you get. Investment of the Chainmaster, one with the Shadows. Pact of the Chain. Interesting, so now you don't just pick your pact as one of your invocations. Now the pacts are actually invocations that you pick. Interesting. I guess that adds some versatility, but makes... Okay. Steps of the Fae. Yeah, Pact of the Fae. Bewitching Magic. Nothing much new here. Other than additional spells. Honestly, the Warlock's now disappointing. There's more to it in 5e. It just feels now like you're... I just don't know. The Warlock just seems disappointing now. Okay. Last one. We got ourselves a Wizard. Wizards. Let's see what they did to the Wizard. Ritual stuff. Yep. Oh, interesting. Ritual Adept has changed. Rituals have changed now. Because now you don't need to take 10 minutes to cast the spell as a ritual, as a wizard. You just have to read from the spell as you cast it. Interesting. Yep, when you finish a short rest, expend some spell slots equal to no more than half of your wizard level, rounded up. Yep. None of them can be 6 or higher. While studying, also specialize in another field, choose one of the following skills. You know, you can't blame the wizards for that. You kind of got to blame the deities for that. Copying a spell into a book. Gain a wizard subclass of your choice. ASI, memorize spell. Oh, when you finish a short rest, you can replace one of your level 1 wizard spells with another. Okay, so you can replace some spells, prepared spells during short rest. That's actually pretty good. Epic boon. Yep, okay. Wizard's not changing too much. Abjurer Wizard. Want to know what the 12th Upcast Fireball would do? Probably about... I want to say 16d6. I'd say 16d6 is about right. 8d6 on the initial, then you're upcasting it by 8 levels, so 16d6. I could be wrong, though. I'm probably wrong. Did I not bring my... Did I forget my headphones? They might be out in the car. Abjuration Wizard. Choose 2 new spells. Yeah, get them in the spellbook for free. Add one from the abjuration for free. So you get 3 spells instead of 2. That's actually interesting. Ward. Yeah, projected ward sent to another creature. Shield breaker. You always have counter spell. Okay. Diviner. Third eye. Evoker. Potent cantrip. Spell sculpt. When in doubt. Fireball! Fireball! Just hit him with the fireball every time. You can't go wrong with that fireball. Over channel. Yep. Okay. Nothing's really changed with the wizard other than... yeah, nothing's really changed with this with those. Okay. Nothing's really changed with the wizard. It's still the wizard. Other than the way it casts ritual spells, but I'm okay with that change. Okay. This, my friends, is where things get tricky. Welcome to Character Origins. This is where you choose your ability. You've got ability scores tied to them. Acolyte, Artisan, Charlatan, Criminal, Guide. Guide. That's a new one. I want to look at the new ones. Guide. Charlatan, Criminal, Entertainer, Farmer. Farmer's new. A sickle, carpenter's tools, healer's kit, iron pot. Choose A or B. A or 50 gold pieces. And 30 gold pieces. Or 50 gold pieces. Okay. 1d4 health pool and 10d6 damage. You grew up close to the land. Years attending. Okay, so farmer's new. Get the tough feat. Oh, you get a feat for this now? Magic Cleric Initiate. Crafter. Tough. Alert. Skilled. Musician. You get a guard. You get alert. Wow. Interesting. Scribe, sage, noble. I don't know how I feel about backgrounds giving feats now. Well, my headphone died, and I think I left my other stuff outside at home. So I think our music just died here. Our music died with it. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about feats for the for backgrounds. I guess it eliminates the level 1 feat for humans, and still kind of makes makes backgrounds matter a little bit more. But it just kind of feels off to give it Savage Attacker, Lucky. Okay. Let's talk specieses. I hate that they're called specieses. Like, I understand elves are probably actually a different species than men. But what's wrong with races? They're just the races of D&D. In fact, it's easier to humanize characters if you assume they are all the same species. They're just very different races of that humanoid species. Because now the Warhammer people can have their eliminate the filthy Xenos. It's just easier. Why that change? Like, they didn't need to make that change. Races sounded fine. Race, class. Now you're species and class. Now it doesn't make sense. Species also don't normally interbreed, so you just eliminated half lineages. This doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense to change this. Keep it race. Aasimar. As an SMR, you have okay, SMRs. Mortals who carry spark of the upper planes within their souls descend from an angelic being or infuse celestial power. They can fan that spark to bring light and healing. SMR can arise among any population of mortals. I'll see you later. I'm trying to decide if I want to save the species until later, because this is going to be kind of frustrating. You know, I'm going to save the species until later. I want to take an early day today because I'm doing some other things. I forgot my headphones. I will read through. I will skip the species for now. I'll go into feats. I'll go through feats, go back to species, and then we'll go forward. I'll just cover feats real quick and then head out. You have a good one, man. Different feats. Yeah. Prereqs alert. When you roll initiative, add proficiency bonus. Immediately after roll, you can swap your initiative with the initiative of a willing ally in the same combat. You can't make... Okay. Wow. Okay. I guess there goes tactical advantage. Tool proficiency with 3 different artisan tools. Discount. Oh, discount. Craft gear from the fast crafting table. Okay, feats. Yeah. Let's get into equipment. I want to see what the weapons are. Masteries. I want to see what the weapon masteries are. Mastery properties. Cleave. You can make a melee attack against a second creature within the... on a hit, the second creature takes the weapon damage. Don't add... Okay, so graze. With this weapon, miss as a creature. You deal damage equal to the ability modifier you use to make the attack roll. Okay, graze isn't bad. Nick. When you make the extra attack of the light property... You can make it as part of the attack action instead of bonus action. You can make this attack only one. Okay, so you get an extra little attack. Push. Yep, push it 10 feet away. Sap. Creature has disadvantage on its next attack roll. Slow. Topple. Vex. Okay. Light. On your turn attack, you can make one extra attack as a bonus action. Okay, so Nick lets you make your bonus action attack as part of your attack action. So with Nick... You get an extra free attack. As Nick. Dagger. Light hammer. Why does that have Nick? It's a hammer. Sickle. Nothing has Nick in the martial tree. Nick. Oh, scimitar. Interesting. Muskets are a thing. Oh no, they're right in there. Oh crap. Guns are now canon. Okay. Tools. Do they add any usefulness for tools? Identify a substance. Okay. Tell you exactly what they're used for now. That's perfect. Brewer's supply or identify alcohol. Okay. Antitoxin. Write text with impressive flourishes that guard against forgery. Okay. Seal or pry open a door with a container with carpenter's tools. You can craft some weapons, chests, that kind of thing. Okay. You can draft a map of a small area. Modify footwear to give advantage on the wearer's next acrobatics check. Cook's utensils. Glass blowers, jewelers, leather workers. Oh, gem value. That's good. Make an arcane focus or a holy symbol. Mason's tools, painter's supplies. Smith's tools, navigator's tools. Okay, yeah, basic stuff. Adventuring gear really hasn't changed much. Yeah, none of this has really changed much. Well, we'll end here, and we'll get into the species next time. That'll probably be where we end. Because I think I'm going to